and it's the Keyboard Breakers. They've done it again.
Is this the biggest panel we've ever had on, Jason?
One day you have a guy throwing mid-70s, and next week you have a guy throwing 55-mile fastballs.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ballcaps Bagpipes. It's a Scottish baseball podcast, and I'm John McKellar. I used to be a Glasgow comment, now I'm on commentary for Baseball Scotland.
I'm Jason Durr, former league president. So you threw me off, John. You're the new intro. You threw it on me. Former league president and Baseball Scotland Hall of Famer.
You are indeed, Jason, and this evening we're joined by three gents that you're quite familiar with, particularly two of these guys, both Rory Dunn and Sylvain Morisseau. We're also joined by Ryan Mookie McFarlane. Of course, Rory, you're the manager of the Edinburgh Cannons. Sylvain, manager of the Edinburgh Diamond Devils, and Ryan, you take care of the Single Lane Knights. We are going to chat tonight about opening day. It's coming up this coming Sunday. Just 6 days to go until first pitch. The Edinburgh Derby is the game of the week. I'm going to be there at the field calling the action. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at the off-season and what you guys expect from your respective teams over the course of the 2023 season. Now, Sylvain, you are a bit pressed for time this evening. You're sunning it up in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and you've got some kids to take care of in a bit. So we're going to start with you. Sylvain, talk to us first off about the off-season. I understand that it's been kind of an eventful off-season, particularly recently, but talk to us first about the off-season and how you feel about the team and where it's going.
Yeah, so this year is going to be a little bit challenging with the new team that is being rebuilt. But it's a good bunch of people. So I see that as being like a nice seasons to go through. It's going to be a bit challenging. Tough pitching, I guess. But I don't see anything, out of the ordinary in here from what the Devil used to be in a couple of years. We've also got a few former Devils are probably gonna coming back as well season. So we're gonna see some new faces and some old ones. Old, not that old, but like some that we haven't seen on the field for a while nowadays. But overall, I think it's gonna be a nice season to play in the Devil this year.
So talk to us about the game that's coming Sunday, Sylvain. How are you feeling about that? It's the Edinburgh Derby. You guys are the away team, I believe, on account of the Cannons winning the season series last year. I think I've gotten that right. How are you feeling about that game? And is there anything about the lineup that you're likely to put out that we should know about?
No. I think there's no magical maybe players that we're gonna bring in, so really doesn't have to worry too much on that. But we've been playing, a few internal games all together, so I think we all have a pretty fair understanding of the two teams and their weaknesses and the strengths. So I think it's gonna be an uneventful games, but I'm hoping that everybody at least on my side learns quite a lot from that games. We have a few tricks up our sleeves coming, so we'll see how that goes. Unfortunately, I will see that from far away. So I hope that I will be able to follow all your comments in there. But it's gonna be standard lineup for us, like the same one we've been using for the past few weeks, and I think it works well. Teams had a good cohesion last Sunday, so yeah, quite confident it's still gonna be an interesting game.
So you're not going to be there. Obviously, you're out there in Argentina, as we said. Is there anyone in particular on the Devils, particularly bearing in mind the kind of lack of veteran presence that the Devils have now? Is there anyone in particular that you'll kind of lean on to lead that group?
So I think the guys, even though not everybody has played, AAA, they all have, had experience in there, and we're kind of all grown-up man, like we know how to handle ourselves, in the fields, and we have a few people like James Nicholson, that can help with plenty of experience, and so I don't feel that me not being there is going to be a big impact, in terms of coaching wise. So it should be fine.
And finally, what are your objectives for this season on the Devils? Do you have a sweet spot in the table that you're looking at in terms of where you hope to come in?
Me, myself, you mean?
The team, but if you have any personal objectives, then please do share that with us
Yeah,
as well.
so it's quite a few objectives I see in this year is mainly to try to grow up, the players that we're bringing in AAA. Like a lot of people who will definitely benefit from that play time, in AAA. And I can see already from the past few games we've done that people are really growing into it, and they just need more game time in there to get their fit in. So for me, this year is like the confidence building year. Where people get to the positions they like, see what they like, train on that. So I would definitely see like different improvement during the season. For various people. Some people might decide, hey, this is definitely not a position for me. I see I'm not liking it. I want to shift. So I'm expecting a few shifts to happen during the season. But I think most of the people we have here this year have, quite like where they're going to be playing, and this is exactly what I want to have. Like, people happy to play where they are this season, and make sure we make way in the team for all the new players that are coming up through our junior programs and all that like making sure the baseball is definitely still growing because I don't want to say like we have a lot of old people in our teams, but we're not growing. Nobody is getting younger, and having the capacity to have space in these teams for younger people is very, very important. Otherwise, none of our teams, are going to go stronger if we don't allow that. So yeah, no, I'm quite happy with how things are for the moment, and we'll see how it goes, further during the season.
Now it's come out of kind of a place of adversity that there's quite a few experienced players in the AAA Diamond Devils who have left the club. But you must be excited about the prospect of taking a group of kind of less experienced players and molding them into a ball club sort of in your own image, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I do like mentoring. I like to to teach and train people. So yeah, I quite like that. Yeah.
Now, the last thing from me, Sylvain, for you, I want to talk about last season and in particular the AAA Caledonia Classic. You won the Caledonia Cup last season, but as a member of the Tayport Breakers, you're back with the Edinburgh Devils. Talk to us about the experience of winning that trophy elsewhere other than Edinburgh and how it feels to be back home with the Devils.
So yeah, so Tayport, I would say don't feel jealous, people, but to me, it's one of the field I really like to play. It's the view from over there is really fantastic. I wish we all had the nice forest scenery and sea view on the background. It's really amazing. And the one thing was really great is people were really welcoming in that team. It does help. It did help as well. To be back playing with Shanyan and as a former Devil. So yeah, it was really great experience. I really enjoyed myself, and I was just a player. Like nothing else. No coaching, nothing. So that really does help to have a season where you can actually rest from all that tension and pressure of leading the team. So that was for me. That was really nice here for a long time. So I really enjoyed that, and yeah, that was really welcome team.
And of course, you won the Caledonia Classic MVP award last year.
Yeah, I mean, let's say the wind wasn't blowing the right direction for me to make the catches, and yeah, and I really enjoyed playing, outfield, full outfield. For a while, it's been a while I've been able to do that. So obviously this year will be quite different. But I probably think I'm gonna have to unretire my throwing arm. Maybe part of the season, but we'll see where I fit the best for people. But this year will be probably me playing utility players wherever it's required. So probably not see me much in the outfield, but yeah, you probably see an amount.
Hey, if last year's anything to go by, you've certainly still got the legs for it, Sylvain. So I wouldn't mind seeing more of that in 2023. We're going to move on to you next, Rory. But first off, Jason, do you have anything that you want to say to Sylvain or anything you want to ask him?
I was going to ask Sylvain if he convinced the old timers to come out of retirement to help you out this season.
Sorry, so you can say that again?
Did you convince the old timers to come out of retirement for one more season and have a go?
So some of them, the one that were retiring for either shoulder injuries, now back in action, and kids getting older, so now it's a bit easier to come back. So we'll see. There's a few. You'll see them on the field, and hopefully this year will probably going to be a transitional year for them. But I do think that if they like what they see this year, they're definitely going to come back again for next season for more games than they are doing this year.
Cool. That's all I had for Sylvain. So we can let him go and bask in 30-degree weather. So
yeah,
enjoy
the rest
a
of
bit
your
of
time away,
sun from the
Sylvain.
back. See you guys.
Thanks for joining us, Sylvain.
Thanks, Sylvain.
All right, so we'll move on to you next, Rory. Before we do, I just want to quickly read a few comments we've got here. Jeets26, a guy you know pretty well, Jason. He has said, it's my second favourite podcast featuring Jason there. Evening, gents, and also Rory, my second favourite Red Sox fan and handsomest man in all of baseball Scotland. Jeets, who's your favourite Red Sox fan as well? I would like to know. Jordan McRitchie comments, Sylvain's radiance is blinding. Devils are going to have fun playing baseball, says Convoy 20. So Paul Convoy. Beevsky says, can't wait for the season to start. I'll be in Tayport to witness the action. Hopefully I'll bump into you up there. I'll be calling games in Tayport at some point this season. So Rory Dunn, manager of the Edinburgh Cannons, the Scottish national champion Edinburgh Cannons of 2022. First off, Rory, we have to catch up about the league win last year. Talk to us about that league win. It was quite a dominant performance from the Cannons basically throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do any of this that doesn't involve me smiling cheesily and having people probably want to hurt me for looking so smug. But we had a very good, strong team. We got off well, like we started the season very well, to the point where we were kind of counting the days, going, when can we actually call this done? And it kind of seemed to drag on a little bit because the Comets put up a hell of a fight, and it was you guys in the Comets that kept keeping that mathematical. I don't know where to get the mathematical ability going. So we're like, we were trying to get ready to have a celebration. They're like, oh, another week? Oh my God, we've all booked tomorrow off. We got to go another week again. But no, it was good. It was such a nice big thing, and it was kind of like a big release as well. Like, when you have a good team, there's that pressure on you to do well. And until it's done, back of your head, you're always thinking that something can come and ruin this. I'm going to ruin this, or something's going to take away from you. So the day that we did it, was the win against Aberdeen, it was such a relief. Like, we kept playing the game. Like, when the game finished, it was such a nice day and such a beautiful day. Aberdeen stuck around, and we just played some fun baseball afterwards. The beers were out, we celebrated. It was fantastic. And that was such a high. And it was, the videos and photos of the celebrations, folks running around. I got a bucket of water on my head, which is a whole lot colder than I remember from the Ice Bucket Challenge 7 years ago. Because, I mean, Jason, we won it 4 years in the trot, and I never once dunked Gatorade on you. And I feel I really missed the trick there.
I'll just make sure I come to the field wearing a rain jacket, just in case you decide to relive some memories.
Yeah, I'll get you one day. But no, it was good. I mean, obviously the end of the season was a little premature. A little unfortunate. That was a good Tayport team, as is shown by the fact that they won it all. I mean, hats off to them. They were phenomenal. But that was the weirdest bit. Is as much as the league was fantastic, we won it. End of the year, it still feels like we did not live up to our expectations. And we should have been, in my head, amongst the team, we should have been holding both cups. Which means this year, the goal sorry if I'm jumping ahead of your questions, is 2 cups. You know, that's aim high. You know, aim high or don't bother. I mean, the goal is perfect record, 16 perfect games. Now, you know, immaculate innings all the way through. You know, start at the very top and aim for the highest.
So what you're saying is you guys were the 2001 Mariners?
No, because
Except did they win something?
No, they didn't. They won 116 games and then
Yeah,
lost in the playoffs.
The Cannons won something.
Yeah, thank you. You mean the 2022 was the 2001 Mariners? Yeah. No,
So,
sorry.
yeah, sorry, if you were going to continue, then please do.
No, I feel I'm just going to keep prattling the same point that I've made over and over for the past 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to. You mentioned that you had such a strong start in 2022. Now, I remember back before the 2021 season that you were very confident. I believe your words were that the Cannons were stacked. For some reason, that just didn't really click in the early weeks of that season, and I think that potentially cost you guys a couple games in the league standings. Did you guys approach last spring when the season started any differently? And do you attribute the strong start you had last year to anything in particular?
I mean, it took us a while to find our stride. We were still winning games. I think we had 6 in the bag before it was the Comets actually gave us our first defeat. It was that 11-inning game with David through like 10 of the innings. That ridiculous 11-inning game in Edinburgh.
I missed that as well.
Yeah, I mean, what a game that was. You know, like I think it took us a little bit to gel because it was quite a new unit. There's a lot of guys, you know, played together just a couple of years, and we had a couple of new additions last year. Federico, Connor, Ivan and Jose coming over. So it took a bit to kind of gel. It took me maybe a couple of games to find that lineup as well, where folk are better off hitting wise, getting people together. And same way, you know, with the pitching, it just takes you a couple of games to get that sorted. Because sometimes the problem in training games is you don't always get a chance to train as a team. Because we work all together as Edinburgh Baseball and we have the 3 teams. To work as a team would then be having to run 3 training sessions. We don't have that equipment. We don't have that field. So having to work together where you're working with everyone, you know, you're getting your work in, training, reps and stuff, but it's never maybe your entire infield working together, turning those double plays, you know, talking to each other, knowing where folk like to play, where folk can be. It just takes a couple of games to get that in. This year, we've tried to do more, keeping the team together, working together in training and stuff. I mean, the fact that we've had a year under our belt and we are returning the same team this year should be a great bonus. We know each other a lot better. We've been through a lot. Everyone's a bit more clued into where we're good, where we need to work on, how to help each other out. So hopefully we're coming right out the gate, hitting, pitching, fielding, and playing our best ball.
So I have a question for you, Rory, from Jordan McRitchie on Facebook. Question and comments. Is Rory going to get his second homer this year? So no pressure, Rory. But are you planning on a sequel to last year's absolute beauty?
I feel 18-year gaps, much like the Mariners' playoff hopes, is a nice gap between home runs.
Very well played, sir. Jason, do you have a retort for that?
No, it's well deserved. As long as the Cannons don't sign Richie Sexton and Carlos Silva, you know, we're okay.
So, Rory, you've kind of set a bit of an expectation there. You mentioned earlier you want 2 cups. Does that mean then that for you and the Cannons, it's League and Caledonia Classic or bust?
I would say League and Caledonia Classic or bust. I feel that it's a bit like, you don't want to sound too braggy. I feel like we should be winning at least one of those. If we don't, then something somewhere's either gone wrong or has not gone our way. But I feel like I said, we did so well last year, but we could have done better. Knowing, you know, our team and our guys, resting on your laurels and being happy with the same again, that's not how folk are going to sit. It's, you know, there's going to be that little bit in the back of the head going, we can do this better. And, you know, I can't wait to go up to Tayport and see him again, but, you know, there's been that little bit in the back of folks' heads going, we really want to win this one. And, you know, And it's not like it was, it wasn't a bad game. There's no bad blood with Tayport. They played phenomenally, but you just want to, you want to erase that last loss. It's the same. Our only losing record against the team was the Comets last year. You guys took 2 out of 3 from us. Let's have no losing records. It's that kind of mentality of what went wrong? Let's try and turn that around for this year.
So, yeah, you've obviously set high expectations for the team. I think you guys are definitely more than capable of meeting those expectations. Like, my last question, I guess, to you would be, how do you go about meeting those expectations? Is there anything you tweak? Do you change anything in particular? Is it do you rest arms here and there, or what's the secret, do you think?
God, if I knew the secret, I'd charge you. There's no secret. Like I said, sometimes baseball's that game where it could literally be an unlucky bounce and that's your day ruined, Like I said, sometimes you've got a game and suddenly half your guys are on holiday or whatever and your team's not, that happens from time to time. And there's not much you can do. You can put out the best team you have and play the best baseball that you have. And, if you do your best and you still lose, you can still hold your head up and say that we at least did our best. If you put out a great team and play terribly, then maybe you got to look a bit more inwards. And I don't feel at any point we played terribly. Like I said, even that Tayport loss, we played really well. It was such a close game. I mean, you guys were there. You saw, it was still held to high. We might have lost, but we played well. There was no games last year where I feel that we played terribly and completely deserved to lose. So, like I said, I just try and keep that mentality of, as long as everyone is working together, you win as a team, you play as a team, help each other out. And if folk get down about errors or strikeouts or stuff, you've got 9 other guys on the bench who are your biggest cheerleaders, pick each other up, and just a positive mentality will lead to positive things without getting too Ted Lasso.
It's true. So I've got one more comment here. This is from Jose Antonio C. Gonzalez. Cannons is more than a team. It's a family. All the best for everyone. So you certainly have plenty of people rooting for you guys. Rory, that's all from me. Jason, do you have anything you want to chat with Rory about?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I got a good question for you. So, considering that most of your team is coming back in this year, who do you see the biggest improvement from?
The biggest improvement from one player who I'm excited always to see, and I don't know if he can improve any better, is Connor Smith. That kid he is a phenomenal player, and yet he is still such a young kid that there is improvement to come, and that's a scary thought. Our field's only so big, but he has such a love for the game, and he has such a professional attitude towards the game that he is such a pleasure to play with and to manage. So I'm always excited to write his name in the sheet and to see him play. Improvement-wise, there's a Knight who I'm going to be calling on more this year, hopefully Adam Fortune Smith, who hopefully with some more AAA time, we'll see some big improvements from. He did so well last year to get his first call-up, and Mookie will hate me for taking away from his team more and more, but he's absolutely deserved it. So I think for the up and coming, that's maybe the name to watch is himself. I mean, this Mookie McFarlane guy as well.
He's more of a he's more of a 4A guy. Sorry, Boo, kind of threw that out there. Not too good for single A, but not good enough for AAA. We'll just go there. So
he's only a mixed team to hit anyway.
Would quadruple A not be better than triple A, Jason?
Yeah, it was his experience. It's the expression, that it's just a 4A guy, not good enough for the bigs, but too good for AAA. So
is he the official journeyman?
Yeah. So you've never heard that expression before, the quad A guy.
I don't think I have, no.
And you call yourself a baseball fan?
I'm a Yankees fan. We don't do farm systems.
No, just do purchases.
We buy overhyped, aging, broken down veterans and throw everything at the field and see what works. Usually it doesn't.
Have a great year. I don't know what you're on about.
Oh yeah, I don't have high hopes, Rory. I've got a question for both of you guys actually. So Mookie, we're going to bring you in a sec anyway. It's from Brian Clark of the Galaxy, good Heartsman. With one single A and two triple A teams, how do you guys pick your triple A rosters?
It's, I mean, as by the rulebook, it is baseball experience. We have a lot of players that are in Edinburgh now, but played baseball either back home in the States or back home where they come from, and you have to take that experience into account and go, that's not a single A player, or it's by virtue of the level that they play at. You know what I mean? I don't know how most other teams evaluate their A and triple A, but there's a lot of folk where you kind of go, it could be both. You could play both. It's that boundary, but then there's definitely guys where you go, that's triple A, and that's the level that they play at. And like I said, I'm hoping someday to drop down to the Knights. I'm hanging on by the very edge of this team. I can barely get into my own team, so hopefully I'll hit 37 and just dropping down. Get DFA'd. Knights will pick me up.
I think the Yankees will pick you up.
I ain't shaving this.
Brian has a follow-up. He says, what I mean is an A player is ready to step up. Which team does it go on? So I think it's how do you select which of the two teams that A player will go to? Thanks for the question, Brian. That's brilliant.
It depends on who has a need that week. Obviously, we're always playing both weeks, and if one team turns around and goes, actually, we're going to need a couple of guys for the Knights, and we need these positions filled. If I turned around to Mookie on midweek and went, look, I'm going to need a third baseman, and it can't be you. Who can you send me up from the Knights? Or if the Devils turn around and we need a catcher in a left field, then that helps send the right people up. Because, if someone's been playing third base at the Knights for the whole season, but I needed a catcher, that's not the person you'd send up, even if that might be the best player on the A team. And then there are players as well where they were Devils or Cannons before the Knights existed, and they want to continue that. They already have the jersey and the hats, and they only want to play for that team because that was their team a couple of years back before we had this A League created. And you have to respect that. You have to respect where people want to play, because I would rather folk enjoyed their baseball and played somewhere and with people that's going to bring them enjoyment than force them to go and play at, somewhere or something that they didn't want to do. And it's not like it's people or whatever on different teams that people don't want to be around, but you just have to kind of respect that if folk have been with that team before and that's the team they want to play with, then that's the team that they will go and play with when that need arises.
All right, man. One last thing, Rory. This Sunday, opening day, what can we expect from the lineup? You're looking to lean on anyone in particular? Is there anyone we should be looking out for this Sunday?
I'm leading off. First pitch, home run. That's all I'm going to say.
So, Jordan, you're not going to have to wait long for that second home run.
Tell Sylvan I'm swinging. First pitch. Here we go.
All right. Jason, anything else for you for Rory?
No, that's all we have tonight.
All right. Thanks so much, Rory. Ryan, Mookie McFarlane, welcome back to the show. I think I missed you when you were on last year, Ryan.
Yeah, I think it was just Jason and I that were on.
Yeah, I was away licking my wounds after you broke my back.
I think I'd actually mentioned that. I was disappointed you weren't there because I wanted to ask if you'd ordered a new one yet. But
yeah, don't think I forgot about that. So Ryan, you are, as we've heard already, you're one of the Cannons players, but you're also primarily the manager of the Edinburgh Knights single A team. Last year was you guys' first kind of full season in the A League. Talk to me about the experience of being part of that Knights setup for the first season and how that went.
No, it was a really good setup. It was a really good atmosphere within the team. Like with the two teams that we had for the Cannons and the Devils last season, there was obviously a lot of competition for spaces. Like, yes, the Cannons were stacked, but the Devils always had that 9 AAA players for each game. So having the Knights allowed people who, like you say, are on that sort of cusp of AA, AAA to get decent playing time, and not just within Edinburgh, like the Glasgow single A teams were really good. The Tayport team, obviously, they walked through the league and the cup and that as well. So it was still a good level of play, and I think that's helped a lot of people progress into that AAA team, especially the folk who played on the Knights primarily, but got called up to the Cannons and the Devils quite often. And now, with the sort of restructure of the Devils, there's a lot of those people who have moved into that team, and I think they won't feel as out of their depth as they might have if they were thrown at it full-time last season. So I think it's a good step for them.
So you mentioned the restructuring of the Devils, and you've potentially lost quite a few of the kind of key guys on the Knights. Rory also touched on it earlier. How are you approaching that? Because obviously, you as the manager of the Knights still have to field the best 9 that you can on a game-by-game basis. Is there anyone that's come in over the off-season that you're particularly excited about, and how are you going to take on that challenge?
Yeah, we've seen the last couple of weeks at Sunday trainings a lot of new people show up, different abilities, but there are some that are already on that cusp of AAA. Not to pick names and pick favourites, but there are 3 or 4 that will move up pretty quickly if that space in the team allows for it. In the AAA teams, that is.
Yeah. Now, the league title in AAA has stayed in Edinburgh for the last 2 seasons, back to back. The Edinburgh Devils in 2021, the Edinburgh Cannons last year. Do you feel that the Knights are in a position to start challenging for the league title in single A? And is that do you feel any kind of pressure to complete the set, if you will?
I think Rory's got the pressure as well. It'll work both ways. But no, I do think that it is something that we can do, and I think the team outright sort of has the confidence in themselves to go on and do one, if not both, of the single A cups as well. But like I say, it's that competitive a league that both the teams in Glasgow and Tayport, they'll all be saying the same thing, is that they're raring to go for it as well to get the season started. Yeah.
Now, you guys don't have a game this Sunday. I believe you guys don't play until, I've just checked there, it's Sunday, week 3. You guys are visiting the Comets in Glasgow. Do you feel like having that extra couple of weeks after the start of the season, after maybe getting a couple of AAA innings in, do you think that that's a benefit for you guys, or would you rather be getting your teeth sunk into it straight away?
Half and half. I mean, the extra couple of weeks allows, obviously, our midweek trainings now start up, I think it's after Sunday. So there's a lot of folk that haven't been down yet that, I've been messaging and saying, once the midweek starts, we'll be back down, Sunday commitments will work and stuff like that, has stopped them coming down. So midweek trainings will help with that. And I mean, more time to practice is more time to practice. Nobody's going to complain about it.
And lastly, for me, Ryan, you have you probably have a lot more miles in front of you than anybody else in this panel here. You've got a lot of playing years probably left in you compared to some of us. What are your personal goals from a playing standpoint for this coming season and beyond?
I remember Jason asked me this last time, and I said maybe hit my first home run, and I've still not done that, so that's still on the list. But no, either the move up to full-time AAA, but there's no pressure, Rory, or just taking the Knights to one of 2 cups, if not both, would be really good.
That's excellent. Thanks, Ryan. And Jason, do you have anything for Ryan this evening?
I do. So last time we chatted, Mookie, you didn't have a favorite baseball team yet. Have you picked one yet?
So I'm going to New York. Sorry, no, I'm not. I'm going to Boston and Philadelphia in May, and I'm going to see the Red Sox and possibly the Phillies. So I'll get back to you after that about which one is better. Whatever one Rory doesn't support.
I used to go the game, go over whoever wins this game is going to be my team. Do it that way.
Well, I think it's the Red Sox and the Cardinals that I'm going to see. So if I do it that way, I don't know, are they good teams to decide between?
No, not at all.
I've got a few more comments here. Sylvan has a response to Rory. Well, I won't be there, so someone has to be me and swing at the first pitch. Paul Convoy, the President of Baseball Scotland, says, Mook VP. Beefsky says, Mon the Cardinals. And Brian claims that you're clearly a Red Sox fan, Mookie. Brian, of course, a dyed-in-the-wool Beantowner. So, yeah, that's the comments that we've got. Would you like to respond to that, Ryan?
Like I say, I'll decide in May when I go and see them. If they're any good, I'll follow them. If not, I'll look at a different. Not.
Oh, guys, thanks so much for joining us. It's been really great chatting with both of you and with Sylvan. Thank you for joining us, Sylvan, and taking some time out of that absolutely gorgeous vacation that you're on out there in Argentina. Jason, let's talk about the rest of the games this coming Sunday. It's a full slate in AAA. We've got the Glasgow Derby. The Glasgow Comets play the away team, and they're visiting the Glasgow Galaxy. The same teams will be meeting in the Glasgow Derby in Single A as well. That's the sole Single A matchup this weekend. It's going to be interesting to see which of the two Glasgow teams gets off to a winning start in both leagues. The Comets are probably, from a talent standpoint, one of the most well kind of balanced Comets teams that I've seen come along in a long time. The Galaxy have picked up some really decent talents for that here in pre-season as well, so that should be an interesting matchup in both fronts. And up north we have the Tayport Breakers, who play the Aberdeen Oilers. Let me just quickly check. So it's the Oilers at the Breakers, so the Oilers are visiting the beautiful field up there in Tayport for a tilt against the Tayport Breakers. Obviously the Oilers, they don't have a single A team, so just the one single A game this week.
You want me? What? You stopped.
Your thoughts, Jason?
Like I said, it's opening day, so you gave me no intro on that. There we go. So yeah, opening day should be fun. Looking forward to the season starting. I'm gonna pop down on Sunday and catch an inning or two and say hello there. So I'm looking forward to the season starting. So
yeah, I'm going to have a wee present for you as well. I'll drop into your place before I go down to the field. I've got a Ballcaps and Bagpipes mug for you and Paul. Yeah, I'm going to be in Edinburgh, like I said earlier. Coverage is going to start at facebook.com/Baseball Scotland at 1:20. I'll do a quick intro, read out the lineups. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the single A game in Glasgow as well and give an update on the score there. First pitch 1:30 in AAA, so you will have all the action coming to you live on the live stream on the Baseball Scotland Facebook. So I do hope that anyone watching or listening who's not going to be playing in a game will join us, and I'll try my best to call the action as best I can. But yeah, beyond that, all that's left to do is say goodnight to everyone. We are on Facebook. It's facebook.com/capsandpipes. We're on Twitter. It's @capsandpipes. On Instagram, Jason decided to spice it up and it's just Ballcaps and Bagpipes. We've got a Twitch. Just search for Ballcaps and Bagpipes on Twitch because it's just one of those daft URLs on there. We're on YouTube. Search us on YouTube and subscribe, like and subscribe, smash all that, all that other patter that podcasters do. We have there's merchandise. There's Baseball Scotland merchandise at baseballscotlandshop.com. You can buy a Ballcaps and Bagpipes t-shirt or hoodie if you're so inclined. Apparently it's twitch.tv/Ballcaps and Bagpipes, according to Graham. So I've completely fucked it.
just go to our link tree. It has all our socials in there.
Yeah, Linktree, whatever the Linktree is. Just search.
Let's see. There's no one else called Ballpacks and Bagpipes. Throw it into Google. You'll find all information there. Yeah,
and you'll also find a lot of images of Ballcaps and Bagpipes. But the only place you can get both of those things in the same place is right here. And yeah, we credits Riley and Kyle did the logo, concept by Jason Dare, intro by Chris Kelly, and I've been John McKellar. He's been Jason Dare. The other guy there's been Rory Dunn, and the other guy in the corner's been Ryan Mickey McFarlane. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks.
Bye, guys. See you on the field soon.
Bobby Bonilla.